more sensitive skin types, but you might still have an individual or a client that still has a reaction on a hyperallergenic product. So if that happens, just remember it's not a one-size-fits-all. Non-comedogenic products, it lowers the chances of clogging your pores. Kind of the same thing like here. It's a lower chance. They're going to be made with less heavier oils. So I'll put that down. Less heavier oils. Alright. The next one would be natural ingredients. Now, natural ingredients, when we see that label on a product, we pick that product up and says, oh, this says natural, this must be good. And we've got a lot of clients that come and say, well, I'm using all natural.
Say that again?
Oh, so she stopped standing in front of me.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I got irritated with her doing that. I actually texted her and said, next time you do your video, please try to do it over again.
So you say right now you read more?
Our part of that is to give them education that if a label has that word natural, it means that it's small amounts, it can have small amounts of natural ingredients. It doesn't mean that it's small, it could have larger amounts of natural ingredients, but it doesn't mean that this whole product is natural. There's no regulation on this. So I think it's, when I hear this, I really feel that it's something important to keep in mind when it comes to client education. The next one would be organic. So this is a real fun one because what is organic? It means it's grown without the use of pesticides and without the use of chemicals. Now, when you look at a product label that claims it is organic, it is either certified organic or it is made with organic ingredients. There's two different labels. If it says it is certified, the regulation, and these are U.S. regulations, in the U.S., if it is certified, that means that the USDA only requires 95% of those ingredients to be organic. Same thing here. If we've got a made with organic label, USDA is only requiring that 70% of those ingredients are organic. Again, very important terms for client education. All right, let's move on.
You're only going to have a 1 day shelf life. I mean, you got to use it up to.
What does it say after non-comedogenic? Lesser oil, I think.
She doesn't talk in this one. So if anybody wants to take pictures or write anything down,
Wait, where's that video at?
what video you played? Where's it at?
Yeah.
What do you mean, where's it at?
How'd you get it? Did you run it there? Did you watch it?
I think we're, because I know her. She's in the medical.
You pay for it. Can you share?
Because I got certified in ingredients. Okay, so from her. So this is the certified. You guys are being not certified, but you guys are getting certified class.
Yeah.
Amber, can I go ahead and put on? Everybody get it? Okay.
What is this? Can work in best combination, everything's combination skin?
Yes.
The last one?
Yes, ingredients good, yes.
Are you able to go back and?
Oh, no, not a combination skin. What they mean is that in combination you can use it put together.
I saw what you mean.
There's some ingredients you can
front
mix
of
together and some ingredients you cannot.
Okay.
Chemical reactions, there, it does not do it.
Okay.
Oh, can I see it?
Okay?
Preservatives and parabens. So immediately when I think about this category, I think most people, a lot of estheticians for that matter, but a wide variety of just general consumers get very scared off today by preservatives and parabens. Now this is going to be one of those subjects that everyone's got their own personal preference on, that really just needs to be respected. So we've got certain estheticians that holistic skincare, no preservatives, no parabens whatsoever, which is awesome. Totally get that. And we've got estheticians that believe and want the products that have the longer shelf life with preservatives and or parabens. So, and I respect that too. It's just kind of, you've got to find out, are you an esthetician? If you already don't know, and it's something to think about. Do you want to use products that have preservatives, or do you not want to? So let's take a look at it a little bit further. Chelating agents, they're added to cosmetics to actually improve the preservative that's going in. Preservatives limit the microbial growth, which is bacteria and molds and yeast that can formulate in these products. A lot of products have a if they don't have it in there, have a very short shelf life. That can be extended longer with certain antioxidants. However, if a product does have a preservative in it, it's going to have a much longer shelf life, commonly somewhere around 2 years. I've even seen them up to 5 years, depending on what's preserved in that product. There's a lot of controversy over parabens. In 2004, there was a study that was released that parabens were actually found in cancerous breast tissue. So here's the thing about that. The FDA still says that it's safe to do. When this study came out, it shook a lot of people up, and I still think that a lot of people don't really know more about it, to be honest. But most of our professional skincare lines are going to be using preservatives and not parabens. Your over-the-counter products are where you're going to find some pretty dangerous, if I'm just speaking totally honest as myself, you're going to find some pretty dangerous parabens. And for me, I'm as far, and this is my personal preference, but I'm as far and feel comfortable enough to tell my clients, they're telling me they're using XYZ over the counter, and I'm telling them it has, this paraben in it, which is linked to cancerous breast tissue, and explaining the study to them. I'm not telling them, hey, don't use it, but I want to make sure that I'm educating them, giving them, all the information so that they can make their decision. And I've never, once I share this study, every single client I share this study with is like, oh my gosh, I need to stop using over-the-counter stuff. I want to get on your products immediately. It's kind of turned into one of those things that I've used to really educate and get people in the long run, just for another reason to get people out of professional skincare. So, the risk associated with the use of preservatives, which can be harmful, yes, in large amounts, it really has to be weighed against, not using them, which, like we just talked about, can also lead to harm. They can be non-irritating, and they can be compatible with other ingredients in the product as well when they're used, when they are used. Certain preservatives also have disinfectant properties, which is pretty cool. And they work effectively against a wide range of organisms over a long period of time. So most of your professional skincare lines are going to be using preservatives. With the exception of, if you find a holistic line, you might find that their belief is in no preservatives, but those are, from my understanding, harder to find. That's really not my category, is holistic. So I'm just sharing with you in all honesty what I know there.
So this is a good thing on your retailing products. If you know, like, if they're buying over the counter, because of money too, a lot of it is money, educate them. I mean, you can't pretty much push them to change their mind and say mine's better, or you can't say stuff like that, but you can educate them what's in their product and leave it up to them, okay? you know, if they're not ready to switch over, give samples just to get, they'll probably like your product and then end up buying it. So, I never force my clients to buy my retail. I mostly educate them on my ingredients and what it will do. If they say no, you know, not right now, then I'll give a sample out. You know, something that I feel like they're gonna see results in, and say, hey, I really like that moisturizer, it made my skin feel really good. You know, a cleanser, I don't normally give a cleanser out as a sample because a cleanser is just a cleanser. I want something I'm gonna give to them where they're gonna see something, by using it, by the time they come next time to me. Okay? Any questions so far?
Okay, so let's talk some more about preservatives and parabens. So we heard a little bit about that, but I want to extend a little further. So we know preservatives stop the growth of harmful bacteria and mold in the product. Parabens also stop the growth of bacteria, fungi, and yeast. Okay, so when we look at this a little bit further, let's take a look at this on the board first. So we're going to be primarily just looking at parabens. Parabens, there's a lot of controversy over parabens right now. We do know, and there's been a lot of studies done on this, but they interfere with the hormone function. One of the biggest things is the study that was done on finding cancerous breast tissue that linked back to also having parabens in that tissue. Even though there's been a lot of controversy about this specific study, there's also been healthy breast tissue that has also been linked to having parabens. So it's kind of, people are saying it kind of washes itself out. But I still feel it's something to still be very aware about, and there's also still more studies being done on this all the time, and we're still finding out new evidence. We do know that all of these extend the shelf life of your product, both preservatives and parabens. They can cause allergic reactions, and they're harmful in large amounts. I always try to steer away from products that do have parabens. I'm personally not a fan. Some of you are okay with using parabens. That's your personal choice. A lot of the higher end lines are just when you have preservatives minus the parabens. Okay, so some of the key, there's many different parabens out there, but these are some of the most common ones that you're going to see. Number 1, methylparaben. Number 2, propylparaben. And number 3, which is butylparaben. Okay, so taking a look at that, I also want to really talk to you about there's other alternatives besides preservatives and parabens in the product. Ultimately, we're going to get the longest, like you said, we're going to get the longest shelf life of a product that has a preservative. But other options are going to be natural ingredients. Number 1 being antioxidants will help extend that shelf life. Number 2 will be milk enzymes. And number 3, we see a lot of companies shifting over to this, and they're using self-pressurized containers. Now that's just not the answer for saying let's do away with preservatives because we've got self-pressurized containers, antioxidants, and milk enzymes. No, but we are seeing that you do get a little bit of that natural preservative, which is somewhat extending that shelf life. Okay. Another thing to be aware of is the signs of contamination in the product. Whether that product has a preservative or if it doesn't, you would look for a bad odor or any darkening or color change. One of the ones that I feel always we see the quickest is going to be a vitamin C. Anytime we see that oxidation start to occur, we see that darkening color with that vitamin C. And man, that product, it's just that vitamin C is so hard to stay stable. That product, we see it visually so fast once that contamination starts. All right, so let's move on.
I wish I could talk like that. But
So let's talk about surfactants. The main group within the surfactants family that I want to talk about to you today is emulsifiers. So surfactants basically are commonly used in what we know as cleansers, and typically are commonly used in what we
I think you're pulling the corner. You know, you can see the smell here. You can see you see it over here, so I'm not sure you want to.
It wasn't blue man, though.
I don't try to.
Someone pulled the time.
Charlie, did you go for the computer?
Huh?
Did you go for the computer? I'm not good for the computer.
This is connected and reconnected.
Yeah, because because my computer's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Internet, right?
Probably.
Internet, nothing.